Most people believe wars are fought with guns and tanks, yet some of the most destructive conflicts in history were waged with money, interest rates, and currency manipulation. These are battles often ignored in textbooks, conflicts where no soldiers march, but entire economies crumble. Welcome to the world of currency wars. Invisible struggles that have shaped empires and influenced global power just as much as any battlefield victory. If you think this is purely economics, think again. Currency wars determine who prospers, who struggles, who controls, and who obeys. And make no mistake, these battles are still ongoing, silently shaping the money in your wallet. The concept is simple. Money becomes a weapon. This could mean intentionally lowering your currency's value to boost exports, flooding markets with cheap loans to destabilize competitors, or hoarding gold to pressure other nations. On paper, it seems strategic. In reality, it's a form of economic warfare. Harming rivals often harms yourself too. One early example appeared during the Great Depression. After the 1929 crash, countries tried to sell their goods abroad amid collapsing global demand. To compete, they devalued currencies. Britain abandoned the gold standard in 1931. The U.S. cut the dollar's gold backing in 1933, and France, Italy, and Japan all followed. Instead of stabilizing trade, this triggered a destructive cycle. Imports became costlier, living standards fell, and tensions helped set the stage for World War II. Currency wars, however, are not a modern invention. The Roman Empire faced its own version nearly 2 millennia ago. The silver denarius was once a trusted coin, but as wars and expenses grew, emperors reduced silver content and mixed in cheaper metals. Over time, silver content dropped drastically, causing inflation, loss of confidence, and eventual economic collapse. The empire didn't just fall to outsiders, it undermined itself from within. In the 20th century, the battleground moved to the global stage. The Bretton Woods system pegged currencies to the U.S. dollar, which was linked to gold, aiming to prevent currency conflicts. But this created a new type of leverage. Nations aligned with or against the U.S. experienced financial pressure rather than military invasion. By 1971, the U.S. had printed more dollars than gold reserves could cover. President Nixon's decision to end the dollar-gold convertibility collapsed Bretton Woods and ushered in an era of floating exchange rates, a new playground for currency conflicts. The 1980s offered another example. Japan's booming exports threatened the U.S. trade balance. Through the Plaza Accord, major economies coordinated to devalue the dollar and strengthen other currencies. The result? Japan's asset bubble inflated and later burst, creating a long-term economic slowdown. No bombs were dropped, only strategic moves in currency markets. Currency wars may appear subtle, policy decisions, interest rate shifts, or financial agreements. Yet their impact is real. Factories close, unemployment rises, and savings vanish. The 1997 Asian financial crisis is proof. Speculative attacks on the Thai baht triggered a cascade across Indonesia, South Korea, and Malaysia, pushing millions into poverty. Today, these wars continue with modern tools, near-zero interest rates, massive liquidity injections, and financial sanctions. U.S. China currency dynamics are a prime example, as the dollar competes with the rising international influence of the yuan. Emerging nations face impossible choices: lower rates to encourage growth, risking capital flight, or raise them to defend the currency, potentially suffocating their economy. The 2020 pandemic accelerated these conflicts. Governments worldwide printed trillions to fund relief programs. Initially, markets recovered and spending surged, but by 2022, inflation soared, and the Federal Reserve increased rates aggressively. The ripple effects were global: weaker currencies, debt crises, and economic instability. History shows that currency wars rarely end neatly. They often spiral until a collapse or new system emerges. From the Dutch guilder to the British pound, and now the U.S. dollar, dominance in currency is tied to conflict, defaults, and upheaval. The lesson is clear: money is never neutral. It is a tool of power, influence, and sometimes destruction. Everyday people are caught in the crossfire, often without realizing it until prices rise and savings shrink. Understanding these patterns is essential for protecting wealth and preparing for the invisible battles shaping our world. Currency wars are ongoing. They influence your savings, your cost of living, and your future. Awareness, strategy, and financial education are your best defenses. In a world where money is a weapon, understanding the battlefield is the first step to survival. Please subscribe and support me to keep this kind of content coming. Goodbye.